Did you know that every single interaction you have with your child before their fifth birthday is literally sculpting their brain for the rest of their life? I'm talking about actual physical changes happening in real time, creating pathways in the brain that will determine their capacity for success, emotional stability, and personal growth decades into the future. And here's the mind-blowing part. You don't need expensive toys or fancy programs. The most powerful brain-building tool costs absolutely nothing, and you already have it. What I'm about to share with you will completely change how you think about those everyday moments with your little one. Because science has revealed something extraordinary about the developing brain that most parents have no idea about, and it's happening right now in your home. The human brain at birth weighs about 1 pound. When your baby is born, their brain is about a quarter of its adult size. But by age 5, it has reached around 90% of adult size and formed billions of connections. We're talking more than 1 million new connections being made every single second in those early years. But here's what's absolutely fascinating. It's not growing randomly. Every single connection being made is directly influenced by the experiences your child is having, particularly their interactions with you as their parent. Let me paint you a picture of what's actually happening inside your child's head right now. Imagine a construction site where millions of workers are building the most complex structure ever created. But here's the twist. These workers don't have blueprints. Instead, they're taking their cues from everything happening around them. Every word you speak, every time you respond to their cries, every moment of eye contact, every hug. All of these experiences are sending direct instructions to those neural construction workers about what kind of brain architecture to build. Researchers at Harvard's Center on the Developing Child have found something amazing. Children who experience warm, responsive, serve and return interactions, like when your baby babbles and you respond back, they tend to develop stronger skills like focus, problem solving, and emotional control. These kids ended up being much better at staying focused, figuring things out, managing their feelings, and dealing with changes as they grew older. But let's dig deeper into what responsive parenting actually looks like. Because this isn't about being a perfect parent. It's about understanding how your brain and your child's brain work together like a sophisticated communication system. When your toddler comes to you with a scraped knee, crying and upset, something incredible happens in that moment. Your response doesn't just comfort them, it's actually teaching their brain how to regulate emotions for life. Here's the science behind it. When young children face intense or ongoing stress without enough adult support, their bodies can get stuck in what scientists call a toxic stress state. Stress hormones flood their system and stay at high levels. Hormones like cortisol, which affects how we handle stress, adrenaline, which makes our heart race, and norepinephrine, which keeps us on high alert. When these hormones stay high for too long, they can mess with healthy brain development. But when you respond with calm, supportive presence, something beautiful happens. Your regulated nervous system actually helps regulate theirs through a process called co-regulation. Your child's cortisol levels drop, and their brain learns that stress is manageable and temporary. Dr. Bruce Perry, a leading expert in childhood development, described this as a kind of neural sculpting. Every time you provide that calm, responsive presence, you're strengthening the pathways in the brain that will help your child self-regulate throughout their entire life. You're literally building their emotional intelligence at the cellular level. Now, Let's talk about language, because this is where things get really exciting. Researchers discovered that children who hear more words before age 5 don't just develop better vocabulary, they develop better thinking skills, problem-solving abilities, and even social skills. But here's the crucial part. It's not just about the number of words, it's about the quality of interaction. When you narrate your day with your toddler, when you respond to their babbling as if it's the most important conversation you've ever had, when you read books together and talk about the pictures, you're doing something profound. You're showing their developing brain that communication is a two-way street, that their thoughts and feelings matter, and that language is a powerful tool for understanding the world. Children who experience rich, back-and-forth conversations in the early years tend to develop stronger language, thinking, and social skills. They're better able to tell stories about what happens to them and how they feel. This means they grow up with a stronger sense of self, better emotional regulation, and more resilience when facing challenges. They literally have a more organized, integrated brain in how different parts communicate with each other. But here's something that might surprise you. It's not just the positive interactions that matter. How you handle the difficult moments might be even more important for brain development. When your 2-year-old has a meltdown in the grocery store, that's not just a behavioral challenge, it's a prime brain-building opportunity. Recent neuroscience research reveals that the developing brain learns resilience through what's called manageable stress. When challenges are manageable and children feel supported, their brains practice going from stressed back to calm, which builds resilience over time. When you stay calm during your child's big emotions, when you acknowledge their feelings while maintaining boundaries, you're teaching their brain that difficult emotions are survivable and temporary. This creates what researchers call stress inoculation. Just like a vaccine helps the immune system recognize and fight off diseases, these supported experiences of manageable stress help your child's brain develop strong coping mechanisms that will serve them throughout life. Let's talk about attachment, because this is where the magic really happens. Secure attachment isn't just about feeling loved. It's about developing a fundamental trust in relationships and in oneself. When you consistently respond to your child's needs with sensitivity and reliability, you're creating what researchers call an internal working model of relationships. This internal model becomes the template your child will use for all future relationships. On average, children with secure attachment tend to show better social skills, more empathy, and lower risk for anxiety and behavior problems. Not because life is perfect, but because their early relationships gave them a template of people are there for me. They have lower rates of anxiety, depression, and behavioral problems. The brain science shows us that secure attachment literally shapes the development of the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and emotional regulation. Here's something else that recent research has revealed, and it's incredible. Scientists are finding that early experiences can influence which genes are more active or less active through a process called epigenetics. Supportive, stable caregiving has been linked to patterns associated with healthier stress responses and lower risk for some mental health problems, while severe, chronic adversity can be linked to patterns associated with greater vulnerability. Stop and think about that for a second. The way you interact with your kid can actually change how their genes express themselves. That's pretty incredible when you think about it. Now, I want to address something important. This isn't about being a perfect parent or spending every waking moment focused on brain development. The beauty of this science is that it's built into natural, everyday interactions. When you're getting your child dressed in the morning and you're talking about the colors of their clothes, you're building language skills. When you comfort them after a fall, you're building emotional regulation. When you play peekaboo, you're literally building the foundation for trust and joy in their brain. The key is presence and responsiveness. Your child's developing brain is constantly asking, am I safe? Am I valued? Can I count on the people who care for me? Your everyday interactions are providing the answers to these fundamental questions, and those answers are being written into their brain structure. Even short periods of focused, responsive interaction each day, worked into things you're already doing like meals, bath time, and play, can add up and support healthy brain development. It's not about the amount of time you spend, it's about the quality of connection. When you're fully present, when you follow your child's lead in play, when you respond to their attempts at communication with genuine interest and enthusiasm, you're providing optimal brain-building experiences. As we wrap up, I want you to remember this. Every interaction matters, but no single interaction defines your child's future. The developing brain is remarkably resilient and continues to change throughout life. The goal isn't perfection, it's connection, responsiveness, and understanding that you have incredible power to shape your child's lifelong capacity for learning, loving, and thriving. Tomorrow morning, when your child wakes up and reaches for you, remember that you're not just starting another day. You're continuing the most important work you'll ever do. You're building a brain that will carry your child through a lifetime of experiences, challenges, and opportunities. And the most amazing part? You already have everything you need to do this work beautifully. The science is clear, the tools are simple, and the impact is profound. Your love, attention, and responsive care are literally shaping your child's future brain, one interaction at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Your engagement means everything. When you like, subscribe, or comment, it tells me that what I'm creating matters. Your support truly makes a difference. And always remember, guide with logic, lead with love.